What is up, everybody? We are back. The NFL has kicked off and we are in full swing. We got a jam-packed episode for everybody. We got our biggest winners from week one, our biggest losers from week one. We're going to pick spreads for week two. We're going to talk all about week two. We got tons to go over in this episode. So go grab a coffee, sit down, relax, and join us on everything that was week one and a look forward at week two of the 2024 NFL season. All right, guys. Well, how do you guys feel? We made it. We're in football season. We're here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. So we are back. We're going to start the episode off by congratulating Riley. He finally has a big boy microphone. Just give him a little round of applause. He's got a big boy mic. The audio quality is up. He's up
We're
big.
getting there. We're getting there.
Happy late birthday. Happy late birthday.
Thank you.
I think you just turned 12. All right, let's start this episode off right. So if you watched the show last season, first of all, thank you for still being here. Second of all, every week last year, we did biggest winner, biggest loser from the prior week. We're going to stick to that. We're going to keep that rolling into this season. But before we start that, just take one moment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. If any video hits 50 likes, we're going to do a 50 like giveaway, and we'll give away a small prize for any video that hits 50 likes. And if you like that video, you're automatically entered to win. So make sure, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. So, biggest winner, I will go first. My biggest winner this week is NFL defenses. NFL defenses. Total scoring was down an average of 6 points this week. Like, NFL defenses were on it. And it's really weird because the overs went 9-7 to the under. So the overs hit more, but the scoring was down 6 points. So I think the overs hit more because of the new kickoff rule. I feel like teams, I think it was 7 yards better on average starting field position. So that plays into it. But NFL defenses were all over. I mean, you had the Vikings defense looking good. You had the Cowboys defense looking good. You had, what was the other defense I was thinking of? Bears special teams and defense looking good. You just had,
the Niners defense.
I was about to say the Niners last night on Monday Night Football, they were looking good. So just defenses in general. Defense is up. Love some good defense. Who wants to go next? Who wants to give their biggest winner?
Go on, Riley.
Riley, you want it? Oh, I think he's frozen.
Oh, I think he is frozen. No, that's fine.
I'm removing Adam again. You go ahead with yours.
So my biggest winner is going to be the passing touchdown leader right now. And that's Baker Mayfield.
I knew it was going to be.
It had to be Baker, bro. I can't let him just go unnoticed like this.
Yeah, no, I knew it was going to be Baker.
I mean, right now, I know he didn't pass for the most yards, but 289 passing yards, 0 INTs, 4 TDs.
4 TDs.
Dude only threw 6 incompletions, 24 for 30.
You want to hear something crazy?
What's that?
Do you know who Pro Football Focus's 2 best quarterbacks of week 1 were?
Who?
Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold.
That's fine. I'll take it.
That's wild. Those two and Patrick Mahomes were at the top of the list.
I don't think Sam Darnold should be up there because
Sam Darnold had a fucking game, dude. What are you talking about? He started 12 for 12 with a touchdown. He had an interception because his arm got smacked and the ball floated up in the air. But other than that, he had a perfect game.
I mean, it was always between him and shout out my MVP pick, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yeah.
Great week.
Riley, how you feel about Josh Allen?
2 touchdowns, passing, 2 on the ground. I loved it.
He was my MVP. Just with all the talk about how he was going to look without his number one weapon, and he comes out, goes for 4 touchdowns, throws 78%, no picks. He did have a fumble, but I mean, he had an all-around great game. And come from behind win. I mean, he looked good without
10 out of 10.
Stephon Diggs.
Without anybody, 10 out of 10. I will cheers to Josh Allen. I drafted him a couple leagues, and he came through in a big way week 1. I think he really showed that I'm still going to come out here. I'm still going to win ball games. Now, I think he was playing a bad defense. I think that helps, and we'll see what he does against great defenses. But I'm not saying he was, I'm not saying he'll be bad. I'm just saying, like, I look forward to seeing what he can do.
I would also like to say I was lagging out very, very bad.
Yeah, you're still lagging out a little bit.
Still lagging a little bit. Yeah,
still lagging. Hopefully that it'll
see among defenses.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get you back here in a second. You were lagging a little bit right there. You're still lagging in and out. Let me catch your feed. And I'll get in.
He brought up the defenses, and I'm sure he was just going to talk about the Bears defense and how great they were, how they were the reason that they stayed in that game.
Back now?
I got you back now. Can you hear us? Nope. I'm gonna cut him. Hopefully he'll be back in just a minute. But anyways,
I'm sure that's
the
what he was
defenses
talk about.
defense looked good. His Bears didn't score an offensive touchdown and won the game.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Let's see if we can add him back in. Nope, still can't add him back in. Let's see.
It's definitely worrisome if I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah, no. I mean, you want to go over your biggest loser real quick?
Yeah, sure. Is that your Riley back in? I hope that's not yours. My biggest loser though is the Cleveland Browns, just them in general. I honestly did not think my Cowboys had well, I mean, I knew they had a chance to win, but I did not think that we were going to go into Cleveland and beat them as bad as we did. That just I don't know what this Browns team is thinking right now. I mean, I'm sure that they're possibly thinking like, "Ooh, is Deshaun Watson really that guy?" And he didn't look like that guy at all. He hasn't looked like that guy in Cleveland yet, really. So that would be my biggest loser. There's a ton of question marks on them. Their defense didn't even play that great, honestly. It was between the other biggest loser I had was the Jets defense. That's where I was kind of going here. One of those two defenses that we thought were going to play excellent, but didn't play good at all. Like neither one of those two teams. Like we came into this season thinking, oh yeah, those are like two of the top 5 defenses in the NFL, right?
For sure.
I mean, they did play 2 great offenses, but you got to at least you got to keep up with that, especially with the fact that other defenses are shining against average offenses as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say that the Niners offense is, probably the best in the league. They were without McCaffrey, but the Niners had the best run blocking grade per Pro Football Focus all of last year. So they're going to be able to run the rock no matter who's back there. That's just what, Christian McCaffrey combined with the best run blocking was insane. But no matter who's back there, they're going to be able to run the ball. And so, yeah, it was a tough matchup for the Jets. I think we all thought the 49ers would win that game. I did think Rodgers would look a little better than he did, but he is not my biggest loser this week. I had a lot of biggest losers this week. I had written down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dudes I could use as biggest loser. And there were some rough games. But I only went with one. I went with Kirk Cousins. Kirk was my biggest loser this week. He had a terrible outing in the Atlanta game against Pittsburgh, and I was really curious. I was like, why did he play so terribly? So even just before we came on air, I've been watching about 30 minutes worth of film on that game, and it was very evident that Kirk was unwilling to put any weight on that right Achilles when he was throwing the football. I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon, but he's had a year to recover, and if it's not changed by now, I don't know if it's gonna, and that's very worrisome.
Rodgers had some issues as far as wanting to roll out, but not quite trusting that Achilles.
Yeah.
So it's in line.
I mean, Kirk had a play backed up on his own goal line, like his feet were on the goal line, and he takes a snap, and he just takes to turn and throws the ball to a screen pass, and like basically on one leg throws it like high and dirts it early because he tried to fire it in there with just his arm strength, and they got really lucky. It was 100%, like his feet were on the white of the end zone when he threw it, and the ball landed well into the end zone and then rolled forward out of bounds with a Steelers player jumping on top of it, and they ruled it an incomplete pass, but it 100% should have been a fumble. And he looked really, really bad. He didn't have the same velocity. There was the really bad interception. He had a guy in his face and couldn't step up into the throw, but he wasn't stepping up into throws all day. It was really rough for me to watch that, and I hope he's able to overcome this, because otherwise we're going to see Michael Penix real soon. Soon. Riley, who you got is your biggest loser?
So my biggest loser, I've got Bryce Young. With all the excitement going into his second year, they pick up Deontay Johnson. He comes out and throws 43%, goes for 2 picks, 180 yards. He did have a tud on the ground, but he had 12 total rushing yards. So
yeah,
and they got beat 47-10 by the Saints, who is another team that most of America isn't as high on. Yeah. So it could be a long season for Carolina.
Yeah, that was rough. It was, for me, it was between Bryce Young, Kirk, Caleb, and Bo Nix. 2 of those rookie quarterbacks, I was like, they're rookies. It's their first game. I'll give them a break. I'm not gonna shred them over their first games. That, if Steve Young had a bad first game, Aaron Rodgers had a bad first game. Things happen. I'm not trying to declare anybody a bust yet.
The Caleb game was a bad day for QB wins people.
We'll
put it that way. That was a bad day for QB wins people.
No, it was a good day for QB wins people.
It was no.
What are you talking about?
There's no way you can say Caleb played a good game.
No. I'm saying, but QB wins people say it doesn't matter how they play. All that matters is if they win. They're winners. That's all that matters. So it was a good day for them. See, it doesn't matter how they play as long as they win. That's all that matters. QB wins people are up.
I think they're down.
Hey, I'll be the first to tell you, going under 50% for 93 yards and 0 touchdowns is not a great day. That is really, really bad by any standards. And he was looking, my biggest issue with him was, like, is he going to be able to stay in the pocket and play from the pocket in the NFL? Because it's cool to do all those Mahomesy things in college, and it's cool to do them in the NFL too. But there's a reason Mahomes is because not everybody can just step into the NFL and do those things. And Caleb tried his darndest, and he learned, like, you can't just do those things.
His decision making was there. His ball placement and his arm were just everywhere. He was overthrowing guys, leaving them short, leaving them too long. But I think that'll, here in a couple weeks, it'll fix itself out. I think he's going to end up playing really good.
Yeah, we'll see. I would hope not, but that's me. But we will see. We will for sure see. Well, with that, we're gonna do a new segment on the show. We kind of lingered on MVP and losers for a little bit too long, but we're gonna do a new segment this year. 2 new segments, really. But the first one is, over the off season, we here on the show every week would predict 1 to 2 weeks of the season at a time. And we kept track of all the predictions. We voted, whole off season. We did weeks 1 through 18. The playlist is on the channel. If you want to see any of those videos, make sure to go check them out. Leave a like, leave a subscribe while you're there. But we are going to hold ourselves accountable on this show for our predictions.
You're going to need to hold yourself accountable, my guy.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I'm just real quick. I told Britter that I was going to call him out. I'm going to go ahead and call him out now. So I went back and I decided to watch a little bit of the week 1 predictions. And let me just say, you need to be thanking Riley and Dalton that they didn't make White Eye Sports look completely stupid.
I'm aware.
So let's go ahead and get started. And
I've done red and green for wins and losses, and I was gonna say most of the ones that you'll see in the 2 and 1 department are me. They are in fact me. So, but we're a team here. Teams win. It's not about the individual performances. It's about the team performance, okay? Yeah. QB wins are a thing, Riley. All right, so as a team, we did pretty damn well.
That's not bad at all.
As a team, we did pretty damn well, okay? So, we incorrectly went 3-0 on the Kansas City-Baltimore game, Yeah. That's unfortunate. I should say I incorrectly did the Bengals game here.
Yep. Dalton was the only one that picked the Patriots there.
Yep. He was the one on the Patriots.
Yep.
The Panthers game, I was on the Panthers, I know. Or not on the Panthers. Sorry, not on the Panthers, I know. My bad. And then the Rams game, all three of us 0 for 3 on that one. But we did manage to get 12 games correct. We did manage to get 12 of 4 games, and we did this, I believe it was mid to early June when we predicted this.
Yep.
So, I mean, not bad. 12 and 4.
Not at all.
12 and 4, not bad as a team.
So the Bengals, obviously, that's one. But shout out the Pittsburgh 2-1. Brenner was the one that picked the Falcons, and then shout out Texans 2-1. Brenner was the one that picked the Colts. Good shit, Riley. Keep them in check, baby.
Yeah. There we go.
Hey, Anthony Richardson's going to be good, and they played one hell of a game. And I almost had him as my MVP this week, but I knew you guys were probably going to go at least one quarterback, so I wanted to give the defense some love. Okay. He was almost my MVP. I mean, that back foot 65 yards in the air bomb was incredible. Like, I don't know. Josh Allen may not be able to do that. And that's saying something. Like 65, I think it was like 67 air yards off his back foot with a lineman in his face. Like, that is insane.
Right on the dot. Right on the dot, too. That was insane. Yeah, he's gonna be good. Like,
he's gonna be good.
This Colts team is definitely a scary team to look at. Like, whenever another team sees them on the schedule, they're just like, okay, like, watch out for them.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, make sure to go back and check out week 2 so you can get our thoughts on week 2. Like I said, playlist is on the channel. Go check that out so that you can get your betting picks in based off what we said, because obviously you're going to win. You're going to go up, right? 12 and 4. We're 12 and 4. Okay. As of right now, we're a playoff football team. Okay. We're in the playoffs right now.
We're in the playoffs.
This is a win. I'm going to count this as a win. This is 1-0.
No, that is a good. That's a pretty damn good week. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. We're going to keep it up. We're going to keep it up. We're going to keep firing on all cylinders. But I just wanted to bring this up. We're going to do this every week. Quick snapshot. We'll hold ourselves accountable here on the show, good, bad, or otherwise. We will make sure to hold ourselves accountable. The next thing I would like to do, let me pull it up here for us. We are going to pick the spread for each game the following week. So this is the part of the show where I would like to open the floor and say, is there anything anybody would like to talk about from week 1 before we move on? Once? Twice?
I think we touched it
3 times? All right, 3 times.
Good.
So if there's anything you think of, bring it up later, but we're going to move on to week 2 now. So we are going to pick the spread for every single game of week 2. So I'm going to pull that up on the screen now. Presented by FanDuel. We are not sponsored by FanDuel, but I feel like it is easiest. They have a nice, clean website here. It's nice and easy to see everything. Get the odds right here. All right, so I feel like we keep it easy. Go me, Spoon, Riley. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So first things first, I am going to go Miami minus 2.5. Spoon?
Yeah, I'm going Miami minus 2.5 as well.
Okay. And I should say, if you don't know what the spread is, say you're new to football, new to betting, whatever you want to call it, the spread is how many points that team will win by or lose by. So, for instance, Buffalo. If you picked Buffalo, so say I pick Buffalo right here and I want to put a wager in. If I pick them, they have to lose by 2 points or less or win the game, right? So if it's 18-20 Miami, Buffalo covers because they only lost by 2. But if it's 17-20 Miami, they lost by 3. They don't cover, you lose your bet. Same goes for minus 2.5. Okay, they have to win by 2.5 or more. So, same thing applies. 18 to 20, Miami doesn't cover the spread because they only won by 2, versus a 17 to 20 game would be they win by 3, so they cover the spread. If you bet on Miami, you would win your bet. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Cool. Just make sure I explain that correctly for people at home, in case you're new to betting and you don't know what the spreads are and you don't know what all these numbers mean. And if you don't, the plus or minus 105 and minus 115, the minus means if you bet this much money, you would win $100. So if you bet $105, you would win $100. The plus 120 on the money line, which just means you're picking Buffalo to win, means if you bet $100, you win this much money. So minus is this much to win 100, plus is 100 to win this much money. Once again, make sense?
Cool. Let's go.
All right, Riley, who you got?
Give me Buffalo.
Buffalo. Riley's going.
Josh Allen's going to have another superhuman-like performance.
Are you picking Buffalo because you think they'll win, or you think they can lose by less than 3?
No, because I think they're going to win.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's a division game. No idea how it's going to go. I do see it probably coming down to like a late field goal for the win.
Yeah, and I would like to say I never bet on division games because they're so weird. So that should be noted. I wouldn't.
If not for the Bills' performance last week, I probably wouldn't be picking them. But they've proven they can get over 30 points. I think it'll be high 20s, low 30 game.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add a new feature real quick. We're gonna rate these on 1 to 5 star games as a group. This is a 1-star betting game. This is a 1-star betting game, as in you don't want to bet on this game. Is that fair?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll go as high to say I'm pretty confident that Miami should take this by a field goal. That I would say I'll give it a 3-star.
3-star. I put it on 3-star if it wasn't division, but because it's a divisional game, it moves it to a 1-star for me. I just don't like the division aspect. But all right, now that we have all the rules set in place, we'll go a little quicker with this. I'm gonna call this at least a 4-star game, and I'm gonna take Dallas.
I like that. I know the Saints though, they always have our numbers, so I'm gonna stick with my 3 a little bit because the Saints always play us pretty tough, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I am leaning Cowboys spread here. I'm also kind of looking at that over as well, if anybody's interested. But
yeah, I don't hate that.
Is this at Dallas?
It's at Dallas.
Bottom team is home team. Bottom team is home team.
Okay. Yeah, I would do 4 stars Dallas.
4 stars Dallas. I like that. I expect the Dallas defense to come out and hush Derek Carr, quiet that Saints offense while continuing to roll. Saints do have a top 10 defense in my opinion, but this Cowboys offense, the way they looked last week, I don't think that's enough to stop them right now. So we'll move on to Tampa Bay at Detroit. Man, I think this is a 5-star Tampa Bay game. +7, a full touch. So if you don't know the way this works, usually you get the home team if both teams are exactly even, right? Like both teams are equally good, the home team gets -3 automatically. And so they're giving Detroit a field goal because of home field advantage and then 4 extra points. And I think this is a 3-point game all day. I don't see a world in which this is a more than 7-point win for the Detroit Lions. So I'm going to say 5 stars, take Tampa Bay +7. I like it a lot. Spoon?
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay +7 here as well, but I'm going to say it's a 4-star for me.
Man, I've got to go. I like Tampa, but I'm going to make it a 3-star.
Okay, not as confident. All right.
Mm-mm.
That's fine. But you like Tampa at +7.
Yes.
If you had to pick, you're taking Tampa +7.
Yes. I think it's just as likely Tampa wins as they do get blown out by 7 or more.
Oh, I don't see him getting blown out. Fun fact, actually, Baker Mayfield, since signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is 3rd in the league in total touchdown passes. 3rd, above Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all those guys. There's only 2 dudes above him, and those 2 dudes are Dak Prescott and Jordan Love. So Baker's been slinging the rock. He's been slinging the rock over there in Tampa Bay. And Spoon was first on that hype train. Spoon was the first man on that hype train.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving. All right. We have Cleveland at Jacksonville. You know, this one was tough for me. I think Cleveland played god-awful week 1. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that was a week 1 issue and that they're going to come out rejuvenated, and this is going to be the same defense we saw last year, and that week 1 was more of a hiccup game for them. And I'm going to take Cleveland plus 3.5, but this is like a 2-star game for me.
Man.
So my first thought looking at this was I was leaning Jacksonville, and I'm going to go ahead and go Jacksonville minus the points. Looking back at last week, I know week 1's a little weird, but Jacksonville did just fine holding Miami's defense to only 20 points, or offense, I'm sorry, to only 20 points. And I mean, Miami has one of the best offenses, I think, on paper in the NFL.
For sure.
Cleveland does not have that type of offense. They don't have that type of firepower. So I'm going to say that the Browns defense, it's going to happen again. They're going to get worn out for being out on that field for too long. And Jacksonville's going to end up taking the win and covering the spread. And I'm pretty confident. I'm going to say that's a 4-star leaning Jacksonville.
Okay. All right. Riley?
Yeah, I'm going to go 4-star Jacksonville. I think the Browns as a team have given up on Deshaun Watson, but the front office refuses to sit him.
For sure.
I think potentially the Browns are in for a long season unless Deshaun Watson pulls a hammy or something.
The Deshaun, me and Riley last season, we had it out over Deshaun Watson. Riley believed in him and thought he could make a comeback, but it just didn't happen. He's not that guy anymore. He is cooked mentally. He had another civil suit come up now with another girl, so I think he is pretty well cooked completely. Next up, we have San Francisco at Minnesota, and y'all are going to call me a homer for this take, and that's fine. You say what you want. I'm taking Minnesota plus 6.5. Last season, they came into US Bank Stadium. We didn't have Justin Jefferson. They didn't have Deebo Samuel, and we were still able to beat them pretty handily. They had a late touchdown that made it close, but for most of this game, it was not close. And I don't know if we can beat them again, but we can get close. And I think Minnesota plus 6.5 is I want to say a 4-star, but probably should say 3-star to play it safe.
Well, you're going to hate my take then. 49ers beat a better team, much better team. They controlled the whole game. I think this is, on the 2 books that I'm looking at, I have them at -6, and I would pound that before it goes up more than a touchdown, honestly. I'm going to take the 49ers -6, 5 stars. I think that's a 5-star bet.
Riley?
Do we know if these odds are with or without Christian McCaffrey?
He's currently not expected to play, but he's not ruled out yet, and that's what the current line reflects.
Okay. Yeah, I would go. Man, 3-star San Francisco. I could see the Vikings making it a closer game.
I'm just, like I said, I knew you guys would hate my take on it, and that's fine. Nobody expected them to even last year going into that game. I think we were like 1-4, and everybody expected us to get blown out, and then we beat them, and it wasn't like a fluky win. Like they went on to look that good the rest of the season until Kirk ended up getting hurt, but. That is what it is. But we'll move on to Los Angeles at Carolina. I think this is a 5-star Chargers win -6.5. They'll win by 2 touchdowns at least.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's I was going to go 4-star, but I'm leaning Carolina. Sorry, not Carolina. I'm leaning towards the Chargers as well. Yeah.
Riley? Wow, this is crazy to me. This isn't like a 5-star for you guys.
Oh, no. This is like a 3-star for me.
What?
3-star for the Chargers. I could see Carolina wanting to prove something this week after getting their butts kicked. The Chargers were okay last week. They weren't nothing to make me think they're the next superpower in the NFL or anything.
I mean, they handled the Raiders with ease, who were expected to be a decent football team.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to have many 5 stars unless I know, like, hey, I'm probably taking that bet already. And I'm more than likely going to be taking the Chargers minus 6.5, going on ahead and placing a bet slip for it, but it's still only a 4-star for me.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll move on to Las Vegas versus Baltimore. And I like the Raiders at plus 9.5. It's a 2-star game for me, like betting any time, but like a 9.5 point spread in any game, it's hard to win by 10 points in the NFL, period. And the Ravens didn't look great. The Raiders are going to be pissed off. I mean, I don't see them winning by 10 points. I see this as like a 16 point game for the Raiders and a 20 to 23 point game for the Ravens. So I just don't like it plus 9.5, making them have to win by 10. So it has to be a 28 to 17 ball game. I don't love that. So
I think the reason we're seeing such a high spread here is because the Ravens are coming off of a couple extra days rest versus the Raiders.
That's a fair point.
So that's what I'm thinking they're going for here. 9.5 is a lot. I'm probably gonna take the Ravens spread though at minus 9.5, and I'm gonna leave it at like a 1-star. Like that spread's too much. I don't want to touch it. I'm not. This is a game that I will not be touching.
No, I wouldn't either. With a spread that big, it's too much. Riley?
Man, if I have to be that guy, I'm going 5 stars Baltimore. I mean,
whoa, okay.
Vegas is going to have a top 5 draft pick this year. I am not nearly as high on them as you guys. Baltimore didn't play great, but they put up 27 points in a loss where I did not think they looked good, but they still put up 27 points. I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to move the ball. I think Baltimore's going to win by a lot.
All right. You heard him. You heard him. You heard him. All right. Seattle at New England. I'm hammering the Seattle minus 3.5. 5 stars. New England, they did beat Cincy week 1, but it's week 1. Weird shit happens every year. I don't believe that is indicative of what the Patriots season will be. Unfortunately enough, they had a tough, gritty win against the struggling Bengals that flopped hard, and they deserved that win. They were the better team on Sunday, but I don't think they are the better team on paper, and I definitely don't think they can make it a close ball game against Seattle. Spoon?
So I'm also hitting, but I'm hitting the opposite side. I'm taking the Patriots plus 3.5.
Wow.
So, and I'm going to put it at a 5, not a 5, but I'm going to put it at a 4-star. And here's my reason why. Ooh. The Seahawks, I mean, Denver does not have anything going for them, really. Not much at all. But they could have lost that game easily against Denver last week. And looking at how the Patriots defense performed as well, they're playing a worse offense in Seattle, in my opinion, than they did the week before playing Cincinnati. So I think that they're going to cover that spread. I'm also looking at possibly taking the under as well in a very low score.
I like the under. I like the under in that game. Riley?
Give me Seattle in a 3-star.
Seattle in a 3-star. All right. I respect it. I like it. We'll move on to Indy at Green Bay. No Jordan Love. Hammer. I don't know why this is still a 3.5. This should be like a 7.5 right now. You should be 5-star snapping on this button right now, just as hard as you can go. I mean, that is wild that they are. I mean, it's home. So like they're basically saying without Jordan Love, this is a 0.5 point in the Packers' favor, which is crazy to me because the Colts are a good football team. 5-star Indy.
Yeah, honestly, we should probably be hitting this before that line goes up already.
I already have it. I already have it.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Who was the Packers backup that went in?
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis, yeah.
They're saying the Packers with Malik Willis.
Is 3 points worse than the Colts? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no way.
I honestly might deposit extra money and put it on the Colts because I think
like the Colts.
This is a 5-star Colts bet for me.
Yeah, I would say this is a 25-10, 24-10, 28-10 ball game in favor of the Colts.
Yeah.
This won't be close.
You're giving Malik Willis a week to get in and try to get comfortable with the starters. There's no way.
No,
absolutely. Not.
And there's something to be said about backups playing and the game plan changing around the backup and teams being surprised by that. But there's not a ton of film on them anyways, so it would be kind of the same either way. And I just really, really don't think the Packers. I mean, I like the under. I think the defenses could do it, but I see Anthony Richardson having a rushing touchdown or two, having a passing touchdown or two, probably going to have a turnover or two as well. But I just don't see the Packers being able to outpace that offense. So, 5-star Indy. Riley, what you got?
Man, I'm not quite as high as you guys. I'd probably go 2-star Indy. And I understand Anthony Richardson had a great game, but he had all those passing yards off of 9 completions.
Yeah.
So I am interested to see what he looks like when he has 30, 40 attempts. And
I don't think they'll give him 30 or 40 attempts.
Yeah, I just dropped 20 on.
Eventually, he's going to have to. You know what I mean?
Maybe. How are you going to stop the read option with him and Jonathan Taylor first? First you have to stop that, and then you could make him pass the ball. But you have to stop that first, and I don't see the Packers being able to do it.
No.
Well, for me, them playing at home helps.
Lambeau's a fraud. Lambeau's a fraudulent thing.
A high school stadium.
It's a glorified D2 school stadium. I'm a little biased, just a little bit, but hey. All right, we'll move on to New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans. 4 stars on the Jets, -3.5. I could see this being a field goal game, so you could go Tennessee, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to go 3 stars New York. 3 stars on New York.
Yeah, I'm not big on the whole 3.5 point spreads. I don't like them at all. I tend to, especially if I think it's possibly going to end in a field goal, like what you just said, I do kind of stay away from them a little bit.
Me too.
I would lean Jets in probably a 2-star bet here because their offense just did not look good at all.
I expect them to look better.
I would hope to see them look better. They probably are going to play better, which is why we should be betting the Jets here more than likely. But
yeah, but Riley, what you think?
So I'm going to go the Jets 2 stars because up until Will Levis hit the surrender cobra on the Bears, he was playing an all right game managing game. He wasn't doing anything special, but he was getting the ball where it needed to go. I thought he wasn't having a bad game, and then of course,
and then he made the dumbest decision of all time.
He gave it to us on a silver platter.
He pitched your defensive back the ball, here you go.
He led the DB. So listen, Will Levis had more passing touchdowns to Bears than Caleb Williams did.
Speaking of that stat, time out real quick with the Giants game up next that we're going to talk about. Daniel Jones, since his contract extension, has more passing touchdowns to opposing teams than he does his own team.
That's just crazy.
And they are paying $40 million a year.
What a fraud.
That's all I would like to say. And with that, I'm going to hammer 5 stars Washington -1.5.
I was wondering if you were going to do that too, because that's exactly where I'm going. I'm taking the Commanders at home -1.5. They showed some. I think it took Jalen Daniels a little bit to wake up a little, get in the groove of things. And when he did, you saw some spurts where it's like, okay, this guy
saw what
good.
He can be. Yeah, you saw what he can be.
And you still we saw what Daniel Jones could be 2.5 years ago, and we haven't seen it since his big contract signing. So
I've said this on the show before, and I've explained it on other episodes. Daniel Jones should be paying Ed Donatel royalties. He should be doing it because he's the only reason he got that contract.
Yeah.
But
but yeah, I'm hammering the Commanders -1.5 for sure. 5 stars.
Riley?
Yep. I'm going Commanders 5 stars.
Let's go. Let's go.
Full sweep.
We're doing doing Commanders Colts parlay, I feel Commanders Colts parlay.
I was going to say I feel like this is another game where it's like cuz they had the spreads way off in the Vikings Giants game last week, obviously. They had them almost even.
Yeah, I was so shocked by that.
Yeah. So I see this being very similar where they're like, "Oh, the Giants could play good," and then you're just going to see them come out and play like ass again.
Yeah, I was watching that game, and I love my Vikings, okay? But when it comes to betting, I do not place bets on them because you never really know with the Vikings. Like, I can spout my loyalty all I want, but when it comes to betting, I don't recommend anybody bet on them because it's a bad idea. I was like, the Vikings should be -5, -7 in this game. Like, I don't see why they're not. So for me to say that about them is a lot. But anyways, that being said, let's move on to Los Angeles and Arizona. Am I crazier for taking Arizona at a 4-star or LA at a 4-star here, +1.5? I mean, I like them to win this game. Arizona's defense proved they haven't gotten better yet. They can develop throughout the season for sure. Still, like, they can get better, but they aren't right this second better than they were last year when they were last in the league. And yeah, LA's banged up right now, but that being said, they still have Cooper Kupp. They still have Kyron Williams. They still have Matthew Stafford. I mean, I like LA +1.5, 4 stars.
This one, man, this one's tough.
Even with it being a division game.
Because honestly, Arizona played pretty well last week, in my opinion.
They did.
I know they gave up a lot of points, but I thought
they just played a superhuman at quarterback.
This is true.
That's true. Yeah.
But if that Bills team can beat this Cardinals team,
and the Rams, like they didn't play bad against Detroit either. Man,
I think they're going to be pissed. I don't think LA goes 0-2.
This is going to be really, really tough, man. I want to say Cardinals take this at home, but I am not confident in that at all. I'm going to put it at a 1 star, and I'm staying away from this game 100%.
That's fair. I don't blame you at all for that take. Riley?
I'd probably go the Rams in a 2-star. I think the Cardinals, I mean, obviously we don't quite know what the Bills are yet, but I think they're a upper half of the league team. And I think the Rams are right in that mix. I could see it going either way, really.
All right. Well, let's move on to Cincy at Kansas City, and I'm going to base this off what I've seen from Cincinnati this year, and that's nothing good. I'm going to take Kansas City -5.5, but I'm on a 1 star on this game because I don't know what Cincinnati is yet.
I'm also hammering the Chiefs, but I'm hammering a little harder than you are. I think this is a 4 star. The Bengals now have to go into Kansas City after a terrible loss to the Patriots. They're playing a much better defense this week. Is Cincinnati going to figure out their offense in a week's time? I don't think so. I think it's going to take a few more weeks because it did not look pretty at all.
No.
Give me the Chiefs minus the points, and 4 star it.
Cool. Riley?
Joe Burrow returns home. Give me the Bengals, but I'll do it in a 1 star. That way,
you cover your own ass.
Yeah, that way if I get it right, I could be like, "Oh, you guys trying to bet against the Bengals." But
you're
if
taking it, but you're not confident.
He's taking it, but he's like, "Listen, the Bengals, but stay away from this game." All right. Let's go on to Pittsburgh at Denver. I mean, Pitt is gonna take this game -3. I love the bet. I mean, I'm walking this into the bank right now. Denver at home, I don't care. Bo Nix looked awful against the Seahawks. He's going to look god awful against the Steelers. I mean, Bo Nix is gonna get decapitated live in the middle of the game. Like, I watched I watched every bit of that Seahawks-Broncos game, and Bo Nix looked bad. Like, any attempt over 7 yards was either in the dirt or wide. He didn't look good. He didn't look accurate. And a lot of that could be attributed to first game in the NFL. I'm not declaring him a bust, but I would think it would take a lot for him to have a total turnaround in 1 week. I'm going to take 3-star Pittsburgh Steelers -3.
Yeah, this is one that I'm gonna put at a 5-star, and I'm taking Pittsburgh. I don't think there's any way Denver should be in this. I mean, they might be in this game, but they're losing by a touchdown or more. There's no way.
I agree.
So, Justin Fields was obviously announced the starter for week 2. The last time Fields played Denver, he went for 360 total yards and 4 tuds. Give me Pittsburgh with 5 stars.
I warned you about this last week with him starting against
he did not
Atlanta. He played bad. He played bad.
He did not have a terrible
He played bad. He didn't have a good game.
He had over 200 total yards, didn't throw a pick, led multiple scoring drives. He won the game.
He didn't have a completion between the numbers. He didn't even have an attempt between the numbers.
I'm just going to go ahead.
With film on that?
He won the game.
I'm going to put this out here real quick. I am more confident with Justin Fields in Pittsburgh because he does have a much better coach coaching him. Better play calling, obviously. We've seen that. They're going to use him the way that they need to use him and try to diminish mistakes. And if they can make sure that they do that without him, for instance, throwing a pick like he didn't do last week.
Yeah.
If he can do that again this week, yeah, Steelers easy.
I have no faith in either of these offenses. Denver's defense is not good, but Pittsburgh's is top 5. So that's why I picked Pittsburgh. I have no faith in their offense.
Shout out my defensive MVP,
TJ
Watt.
Zero faith in that offense, but I believe in that defense. So that's why I take Pittsburgh. All right. Chicago at Houston. Is this a Sunday night game? It is.
It is Sunday night game.
Wow, Bears on Sunday night. I am hammering Houston -6.5, 5 stars.
I figured that.
This is not going to be a good game for the Bears. I'm sorry.
I'm not going 5 stars. I'm going to keep it at a 4-star. But yeah, I'm going to probably make a bet on Houston here as well.
The Bears defense and special teams looked good against Will Levis and the Titans. I don't think they get that lucky again against this Houston team. Riley, what do you think?
I don't think it's luck. I'm going 4 stars Chicago. I really think the defense is good. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Bears can stay in this. I don't think Caleb's going to play like he did last week. I think it's going to be a close game. Great Sunday night football.
I mean, you're going in without Rome Odunze, banged up Keenan Allen. DJ Moore is kind of banged up. Do you know what his status is?
As far as I know, he's good to go.
He's good. I know he left the game for a little bit and came back.
Rome is week to week.
Yeah, well, grade one PCL strain. Is that correct? MCL strain, PCL strain, MCL strain. Okay.
So maybe he's back in time, but yeah, I think it's going to be a great game.
I don't share your optimism, but I would love for it to be great. I'm a big fan of great football. Trust me. I would love for that to happen. Basing it, everything I'm basing this off of is based on what I saw last week. So that could totally bite me in the ass, except for Cleveland. They're the only team I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to, because they played such a good team. But everything I'm going off is based on last week. Week 1's weird. You know, I could totally get bit in the ass by that.
And I am so high on the Bears secondary right now that I think the passing game is going to, it won't look like it did last week.
I would agree with that if the Texans didn't have Joe Mixon and aren't running they're running the ball more than they did last year.
Yeah.
And I think the Bears are going to have a tough time stopping both, much less one or the other. So, but anyways, you heard what we had to say about that. We're going to hit our final game, Atlanta at Philadelphia. This is tough for me. This is a 1-star game no matter where you go for me because Philly did not look good. Jalen Hurts was the 3rd worst graded quarterback in the league last week. So, and they still won. So like Philly's a great team. I mean, I would have to go Philly -6.5, but like 1 star, half a star. Can I go half a star? Can we give half stars?
Just take the under here and move on.
Yeah, seriously. Stay away from this game.
So for me, I'm also taking the Eagles, but I'm going to bump it up to a 2-star. I'm still sold on the Eagles. They're still one of my Super Bowl teams that I have. I mean, Atlanta just looked so bad last week.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
they
just
did
so bad. They got a lot of work
That's
to
fair.
do. The Eagles looked. I don't think they looked terrible. I think they looked probably, I don't know, 60-70% of where they could be. They could get a little better, but we'll see how it goes. I still have the Eagles.
Riley?
Man, I'm going to go Philly in 3 stars. I don't think that they are fully out of the slump that was the last half of last season yet. But I think against the Falcons, they'll be able to put up points.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's all the spreads. So make sure to lock in your picks. Anything you felt comfortable with. I would say my lock of the week. We'll each give a lock of the week. Just pick a money line lock of the week. I am going to go with Indy over Green Bay. That's my lock of the week.
Yep.
Spoon, Riley, anybody else?
You want a money line lock of the week?
Yeah, just one pick a winner lock of the week.
Riley, you got yours? Give me a second.
Man, whoever's playing Carolina.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I was like, Chargers look good.
Yeah,
that looks like a pretty good lock of the week.
Carolina.
I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go whoever's playing Denver, and I'm just going to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I'm feeling a Pittsburgh Indy parlay coming.
Yeah, it's probably on the way.
Maybe even throw Washington in there. I could throw Washington in there.
I could see that. Throw a little bit of Washington in there.
So. All right. Well, that's it for the betting segment of the show. I got a few little news and notes here for you guys. Christian McCaffrey, obviously unlikely to play week 2 at Minnesota. That's a must know for everybody.
There have been rumors circulating of an investigation being launched because of that.
No. Let me clear up what that's about. So in his post-game interview, Jordan Mason said, they asked him, when did you find out you might be starting? And he said, I don't know, like Friday night. And the Niners had not listed Christian McCaffrey as out yet. They had listed him as questionable, which they do not have to change his designation until they were 100% sure of which. They can tell Mason, like, hey, you might be starting on Sunday. We don't know if we have McCaffrey or not. And him just be questionable. That is totally within the rules. People were like, there should be an investigation because they hid that he was going to be out. They did not tell Mason you are starting Sunday. They said we might have to use you on Sunday. Be ready. They did not know yet. They pulled McCaffrey out of practice on Saturday via McCaffrey's request. And I assume after that they had more of a thought, and he probably should have been moved to doubtful, but they really weren't sure yet. So they left him as questionable and then declared him out on Sunday.
Christian McCaffrey going out lost me a game in fantasy. It won me a game in fantasy. And I won with him being out on my team in another league. So really, I feel even keeled coming out. Like that.
I do want to bring up one real quick thing. I don't want to touch too long on it, but Tyreek Hill was arrested before the game on Sunday. Detained. He was detained on Sunday before the game. I think there's fault all over the place. Tyreek Hill, if you watch the videos online, you can go watch the body cam footage, create your own opinion. But we are aware of that. He won't face any repercussions from the NFL. He's not going to get suspended. But go watch the video, decide for yourself what you think. And I just wanted to touch on that real quick. And then one other thing. We are at a point now in which I am crossing into conspiracy theory territory, and we're going to end the show on this.
That's the best kind of territory.
I am ridiculously appalled by the Lions. They are glaringly becoming obviously dirty. Okay. So last season, they ended 2 seasons with low hits in the last 4 weeks. Okay. And then on Sunday, 5 players came out of the game at one point or another injured due to low hits at the knees. Okay. That's 7 times in the last 5 games for the Lions. Players have had to leave the game due to low unnecessary hits that caused injury. Okay. Dan Campbell was a part of Bountygate with the New Orleans Saints.
Was he really?
Yes. He was on that 09 team. And I'm not trying to claim that there is a Bountygate 2.0 or anything like that. I just want to bring the attention where it's due, okay? This has become unnecessary. I don't think the Lions need to face any penalties, anything of that sort. I just think they need to clean it up a little bit. There's no reason that every time people play the Lions, they need to be leaving with knee injuries. Like, I get bite the kneecaps. I get that mentality, but there's a difference between being dirty and having a dog mentality. That's all I would like to say.
If there was a head coach in the NFL right now to have some sort of bounty gate or anything like that, I would hammer Dan Campbell.
Yeah. Same. But that. I mean, take that however you want. I'm not trying to claim there's a bounty gate. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just bringing it to the attention of the people because I think it's suspicious. But that's just me. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, surely this week. Anything else anybody would like to add? Spoon, Riley? Nope. All right. Make sure to check us out on our fantasy episode. It'll be out Thursday morning for you guys before the Thursday night game so you can get all your fantasy stuff. Other than that, peace out, and we'll see you guys next week.